Good evening. This is Melissa with Origins of Peace, and I am here for our weekly Empower Your Week session. So, this is week 4. We've been doing this for 4 weeks. We've been setting aside 30 minutes to plan a strategy for how we're going to communicate and move with power, peace, and purpose through our week. We've reflected on things that have come our way, we've reflected on the way that we handle them, and we have made decisions to come up with a better strategy if we did not like the way that we handled those things. And guess what? We are back here this week to do it all over again. So, first, let me say thank you for rocking with me for this long. Sometimes it is hard to keep folks engaged, but I appreciate the feedback that I receive throughout the week. I appreciate the comments, the questions. I appreciate your interaction so much. And I appreciate that I can provide a service that is useful to you as you move throughout your professional week. So, like I said, we are back here again. And this week, I wanted to shift a little bit and talk about opportunities, new opportunities that come your way and how to embrace them. Even when it may not be like your top choice of things that you want to do, but you know that right now that it is necessary for you to do them. I just want to talk about how to embrace a positive attitude going forward and how to use everything that you learn as a way to progress, a way to move forward, a way to tackle your goals and just, embrace things as they come your way and not have a negative attitude or a negative mindset about them. So we'll get started with our quote for this week. And the quote says, effective people are not problem minded, they are opportunity minded. They feed opportunities and they starve problems. And that is a quote by Stephen Covey. So, what do you think about that? It says, effective people are not problem minded, they're opportunity minded. They feed opportunities and starve problems. So, I'll start with asking you, what are you giving your attention to? So I know a part of our time here is spent reflecting on things from the past week, what situations came up, how we handled those things. And we spend quite a bit of time reflecting so that we can document and make a plan on how to respond better the next time this situation or a similar situation arises. So, um, keeping in mind our quote and our theme for this week, I want you to think about what type of person are you? Are you an opportunity minded person or are you a problem minded person? Are you giving more energy to the problem itself or are you giving more energy to the opportunity on how to solve that problem, how to keep it from arising again? So let's just think about that for a few minutes, right? So, we have our questions that we go through each week where we spend a few minutes reflecting. And if I think about this past week, I didn't really have any troubles or challenges that came up this week, but I did have a lot of opportunities that have come my way. So, well, let me take that back because I want to be real transparent and real honest in these sessions. So, I did have a situation come up where I was frustrated about a service that I paid for. And I was frustrated on how the service was being delivered, the time that it was taking for me to get information, not being clear on what the next steps were. I got really, really frustrated about, halfway through the week last week. So, wanting to empower myself and handle situations in the best possible light, I took a step back. I didn't respond in any way. I didn't reach out. I didn't say anything. I just read the information that was presented to me and I allowed those emotions that I was feeling to calm down because I was really heated. I'm going to say that. And the whole point of these empower your week sessions, the whole point is to move through your week with power, peace, and purpose, to be on point, to not be led by your emotions, to not allow negativity to be the prelude of how you enter a room, enter a situation. That's what we're trying to avoid by having these sessions. So I didn't respond, and I still haven't responded as of now, and I don't feel the need to, because in expressing my frustration to a new acquaintance that I've made here recently in the past few weeks, she reminded me that everything happens for a reason, that it's either for you to gather information on how to move forward in the future, or it's for you to check and adjust how you're responding to things. And, in this situation, both are true, because the more information that I receive from this engagement, this relationship, this business opportunity, the more it empowers me to understand that the next time that I venture out and do this, it'll be done a completely different way. I'm getting the tools and the information that I need on my end in order to be more efficient and more purposeful in my approach to getting things done. So I'm using this as a learning opportunity to understand, what's needed from me, and how to communicate better with this person and with this company. Let me say that, with this company, because it is a company. So just reflecting on that. Right now, I don't feel the need to respond to anything. I'm at a place where I know that, the finished product is going to be a great one. And yeah, I just feel like I empowered myself by not immediately reacting off of my emotions and off of the feelings that I had in that moment, because they were a bit premature. But now that I've had time to sit with it and just understand how things are unfolding, and understanding there were some things that I could have done differently myself, then I do feel more empowered moving forward. So that's just my reflection for the week. Just on some challenges that I came up against. And I'll just say the biggest obstacle for me last week was myself. And you might notice a common thing, because I'm often the obstacle that's in my own way, right? Ain't that how it goes? Like, you are, more often than not, the person who is in your way, who is presenting an obstacle, who is presenting a challenge or a conflict or something, is normally you, if you really think about it. So I had to humble myself and just know that it's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna work out fine. And I count this as a win, because I've been able to document in my journal, how I felt, what situation came up, how it made me feel, how I wanted to respond, but how I actually responded. And I didn't go off. I didn't, just have this premature reaction. So I think it was absolutely fantastic. And then I'll also say that I went to a networking event. Well, not networking, it was like a workshop event last week that was really great. So it was really an opportunity just to breathe some different perspective and different life into business challenges that we all come up against, that any entrepreneur, small business owner comes up against. It was just an opportunity to sit amongst other female business leaders who are experiencing some challenges in some sort, whether it be from your profit, your position, or your purpose, and just understanding what those things are and how to better define them and align them so that you can have a profitable and sustainable business. So that was a great time to sit and reflect. And in that workshop, we did something that I love to do, which is journal. I incorporate journaling into all of my workshops, whether we're doing vision boards, whether we're doing business plans, whether we're making journals, whatever it is, journaling is a huge part of my business plan. So to know that workshop had that journaling, not to know, to experience the journaling piece within that workshop was very enlightening for me. So it really spoke to me. But anyway, let's get on with our worksheet so we don't run out of time, because we are only here for 30 minutes. So, all right, what did you experience last week that left you with a side eye or had you looking at somebody like, I know she didn't just say that to me, or I know I just didn't read that in the email, or I know that was not their response to me? What had you messed up? Let's just say it that way. What had you like looking funny or thinking like, what was it? What situation came up and how did you handle it? Right? How did you handle it? Did you handle it how you wanted to? Did you prematurely respond? Do you wish you would have handled it differently? Are you happy that you went off? Like, what happened? I want you to take a few minutes to write it down in your journal, what happened and how you responded. And while you're doing that, I just want to talk about our stretch goal from a few weeks ago, where the stretch goal was to do something creative. Y'all, I have been working on a planner, right? A journal for a while now. I have been trying to get it exactly like I want it. And I got my prototype complete and it is absolutely fabulous. So I want you to pull out your journal, pull out your pen, and write down what situations occurred at work, or you can even write down personally what occurred this week and how did you respond to it, and really focus on those things that had you messed up. Seriously. I'm going to showcase my journal while y'all are writing it down. I love it. I love it. Yes. New product from Origins of Peace coming soon. I know Empower Your Week will have a journal real soon dedicated to these sessions. So after you've written down what situations came up and how you responded, I want to know, are you happy with the results? Did your response lead to the results that you were looking for? Or did it cause a bigger problem? Are there still words that need to be spoken? Was anything left unsaid? Did you go off and now you're regretting how you responded? So what were your results? And whatever those results are you satisfied with it? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel like you made a difference positively in the situation by responding the way that you did? And in the same thought, the same breath, like if you are not satisfied with the outcome, what do you want to do different next time? Because we do know that life is a teacher. And those situations, those tests that we don't pass immediately, they always find a way to come back so that we have an opportunity to get it right. Think about that. So it will be coming back around if you didn't handle it right the first time, if you didn't pass that test. So think about for a few minutes, how do you want to handle it the next time it comes around? And I know reflecting on how you responded and how you reacted to things, it can be overwhelming. It can be stressful because sometimes we don't always show up as our best self. And I want to invite you right now in this moment to give yourself some grace as you are reflecting, as you are writing it down, because honestly, we all could use a little bit more grace, right? We fill our calendars with things to do. We make commitments to other people when we're just trying to get through the day ourselves. And especially if you're a business owner and you have your commitments and deliverables and deadlines that you're trying to meet, and then you're trying to take on new clients and make sure that they're taken care of and that they feel seen, valued, and heard, it can be overwhelming and it can be a lot. And sometimes when those situations come up that make you feel some type of way, you may not respond in the best possible light. But I want you to know that it is part of life and it happens. And just because one bad interaction happens or one negative situation comes up, that does not mean that you are canceled. That does not mean that you aren't relevant. It simply means that you are human and that things happen, right? Things happen. So give yourself some grace. And I'll give you just another few seconds to finish up on your reflection from last week, and we'll move into our questions for the intentions going forward. So you know that when we reflect, we use the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, and result. That STAR method is used a lot for interviews. Like when you're interviewing for a job, they use the STAR method quite a bit to interview you so that you can reflect on things from your past and bring forward those relevant examples, into the interviewing process. And this is a way for interviewers to help to get to know you better, to learn what type of person you are, how you respond to situations, and what they can expect from you if they decide to take a chance and hire you for a position. So, what better practice for you than to use the STAR method on yourself to do this weekly decompression, this debrief, this reflection time, so that you can understand what you're working with and how you want to improve on it. Or you might be satisfied with how you responded. You might have checked all the boxes and you might be okay with exactly how things are going. And if you are, I just want to say kudos to you, because every once in a while we need to be satisfied with just how we handle things. We don't always have to be in the growing mode. We don't always have to be looking for some type of personal and professional development. Sometimes we can just be all right where we are for a while. Sometimes we just need to sit down, embrace where we are, embrace what it is, and just say, okay, I'm good with this today. And it's just going to be all right. So practice that STAR method, okay? All right. And now we are going to move into our intentions for this week. So my first question to you is, what do you desire for this week ahead? What are the goals that you have? What are the tasks that need to be completed? Who is it that you need to talk to? Who do you need to connect with? What needs to be said? What is it? What needs to happen? What is the desire going forward? How do you want those interactions to go? So reflect on that just for a few minutes and just make a decision. How do you want it to go? And then in real time, I want to ask you, are you emotionally and mentally prepared to get those desires? So are you prepared emotionally and mentally? I'm going to add physically in there too. Are you prepared emotionally, mentally, and physically to get the results that you desire for this week ahead? So depending on how you answered, if you were able to get some rest this week, you might be prepared. If you were able to do something other than work, you might be prepared. If you were able to do some physical activity, you might be prepared. And then even if you were able to do all of these things, you might not be prepared. So it just kind of depends on where you are. But the first thing is to be honest with yourself on where you are right now and how you're feeling going into this new work week. So I'll give you a few minutes just to write that down. So the next question is, do you feel empowered and inspired to achieve your goals for this week. So I'll be honest, I do. I feel inspired and empowered to achieve my goals. But just like any other week, there's a lot to get done. So I'm working 4 days this week, Monday through Thursday. I have kind of shifted that week to some days have 10 hours included, some have 8 hours included, some might have 5. It just depends. But I do feel empowered. I feel inspired to get it done. I have some new products that I am working on for an upcoming event. I am hoping to collaborate with a business on an event and provide an opportunity that I haven't provided before. So this will be new, it'll be innovative, it'll be brand new, just me creating it. So there's a lot to think about there, how to plug in, how to make it efficient, how to make it a viable product for clients. So there's a lot to consider there. I just booked another speaking engagement coming up in 2 weeks. So just making sure that my presentation is kind of tailored around the event to make it meaningful, make it purposeful. There's a lot, that goes into owning your business, running a small business. And me, honestly, mine is a very creative business. So I like to use creativity to get to conflict resolution. And it's not, how you would normally imagine a conflict resolution business. I like for people to be able to put their hands on things and to work through the energy and the stagnation and regression that they're feeling from not achieving goals, from not moving forward, from not realizing the results that they want to realize, from procrastination, from stress, from overwhelm. My business is a creative business to where I want you to get in there and do something with your hands to break up the energy and to help you resolve conflict within as well as externally. So within you and within relationships and your business processes, all of those things. So to do that and to make it a feasible, tangible product, sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming. But that is where my niche is. That is where, I differ from a lot of other coaching and consulting companies. So it takes a lot to think about it and to actually build it and create it. So I'm inspired. I am empowered to do it, but it's going to take a lot of brain power to get it done. So I do have to prioritize, organize, and make sure that my calendar has everything documented on it that I have to do this week, or I'm going to get real messed up. I'm going to just be honest with you. And I started mentioning it last week, but I started using this app called Structure because I honestly have like 3-4 different calendars. But this Structure allows me to put all of my tasks into this app, and it syncs all of those calendars. It syncs all of those tasks so that I know what's going on, how long it's going to take, the energy that's going to be exuded from my body as I do it, because that's a big thing too. There's a task that might only take you, a 45 minutes to an hour to complete, but depending on what it is, it might take you for about an hour or two worth of energy that, you're going to have to recuperate from afterwards. But that's a side note. So let me get back to these questions. But the next question is, are you well rested? Are you rested? Did you take time to unplug this weekend? Did you get some rest? I did. I honestly did. Last week, I found that I had to close my laptop a few times during the week and actually reset and rest because, like I told you about the situation earlier, in this conversation. But when I get real involved in how I think it should go and what it needs to look like and when it needs to happen and what, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it gets to be too much and I have to close the laptop and just not do anything for a while so that I can reset. So I had to do that twice last week and it was really helpful. I won't call it a power nap because I didn't nap, but I did have a power rejuvenation session because I shut that laptop. I shut off everything and just allowed myself to, just recenter and refocus. So it was really good. All right. So the next question is, what can you do now to prepare for the week? What can you do? I know I mentioned it a lot, but can you meal prep? Can you decide when you need to incorporate exercise? Can you decide when you need to connect with different business partners or friends or whatever, what events are going on? Can you take a moment to look at your overall calendar, your overall schedule, everything that needs to happen between now and next Saturday and make a plan to, do things that you can do in bulk up front, like I mentioned, meal prep, or set aside time each day for the things that need to get done, physical activity and exercise, prayer and meditation, some quiet time where you can decompress. All of those things need to happen. So can you take out your calendar and set it up? Make an appointment for yourself to keep these things, at the forefront of what's important for each day. And then that last question, can you plan for at least 30 minutes of exercise daily? And I hope that you can, because it's very important to keep moving, to stay active, and all of that good stuff. All right. And our stretch goal for the week, I pulled a card from the mindfulness deck and it says, join a friend doing their favorite hobby and find out why they enjoy it. Can you do that this week? Can you find out why your friend I have a friend who loves to bike. She loves to ride her bike and she has been trying to recruit me to get out there and do it with her. And I'm honest, I'm a treadmill girl, but ever since my Achilles has been cutting up, I have not been able to get on my treadmill as much as I like. So I might end up having to take her up on that. I do have a bike in the house that is sitting there collecting dust because, again, it's not my favorite, but I might have to give it a shot because I heard it is a little easier on the Achilles. So what can you do this week? Who can you hook up with? What friend can you reach out to and just find out what their hobby is? What is your favorite hobby and why? And then once you find out what it is, what can you do with that information? Is it something that you want to start trying to do? Or, is there something else, some other way that you would like to spend your time? It's up to you, but that is the stretch goal. So before I close, because I think I have a little over a minute left before I end this, but listen, I want to do something different because I am a praying woman. And I just want to take just a minute or two to pray over any business endeavors, just set the intention for the week, right? Nothing too deep, but I just want to close out with a word of encouragement and inspiration. All right. So, dear Lord, I thank you for everyone who is viewing this evening. I thank you for blessing them in their life, in their business, in their careers, and whatever endeavor that they have going on. I thank you, Father God, for providing divine direction, for guidance on how to move forward, how to strategize, how to plan, how to be more efficient and just be the best possible version of themselves that they can be on any given day. Lord, I know that you have the power to make all of these things possible, and it is in your hands that we are given this strength and this ability to move forward and just to make a difference out here in the world and to serve people with peace, purpose, and intention. I love you, Lord, and I thank you for allowing me this time this evening. And I thank you that this is making a difference and that people are empowering their week by setting aside this time to be intentional with what they want and what they desire for the week ahead. This is my prayer to you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so here we are at 30 minutes, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. Please feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions. My email address is support@originsofpeace.com. It's support@originsofpeace.com. So I will see you back next week. Have a terrific week. Bye-bye.